Hey
19.
everybody, thank you so much for joining us. This is Comic Book Campaign. We're totally an hour late. We're supposed to be on at 9:15, but it's totally 10:15. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties, and Andrew fell asleep. Totally fell asleep.
Totally wasn't up at 5 a.m. this morning. Fell asleep.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter. You almost ruined it. Ruined everybody's day.
I ruined it. Rhett, we are here. It's Comic Book Campaign. This is our newest episode. We usually do one episode a week, usually Thursday nights. My biggest pet peeve of YouTube videos is when they're like, this is the video you want to see, and then they talk for like 4 minutes, and you're like, just tell me the answer. That's what I came here for. We do a weekly web show on YouTube where Rett and I usually pick a book, read it, come back together, discuss it here, and decide if we should either shelf it or continue to read it. This week, I actually put on Instagram, I gave like a little question like, hey, what should we be reading? Because Rett and I were usually picking, and we got some suggestions, like Little Birds, Immortal Hulk, and Preacher. And Rett, which one did we do?
Deadly Class.
That was last week.
Oh, that was last week. Oh, damn it. Preacher. It was Preacher.
We did Preacher,
yes.
Which is a great suggestion.
Who suggested it?
I'm such an idiot that like I put it on and then it goes away after 24 hours. So then I was like, oh wait, someone did it. So I have to I'll put it out again. Like, hey, I said thank you, but I completely forgot.
You need to apologize to everybody. Everybody right now. You need to apologize.
Right now, I'm sorry. I enjoy everyone who follows me on Instagram and talking to a bunch of people, and totally forgot. I'm gonna have to look it up. But
they totally just forgave you.
On behalf of everyone who follows me on Instagram, you forgave me for them.
I don't know.
Oh, I like it. So we read Preacher. I actually read Preacher like 3 years ago, I want to say.
Back in 1995 when it first came out?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I read it a few years ago. I've seen the first season of the AMC show, which is pretty good. And let's just adjust this for no reason. And Rhett, you never read it.
No, I've never read it. I've never seen. I don't have cable, which I think we just lost a few viewers because of that sentence right there. So I haven't seen the AMC show either. So I had no clue going in what it was about.
Oh, well, good. That's good. I like that. I mean, we do a lot of independent comics where it's kind of like the story can be anything. It's not like, oh, Superman, you know the backstory, you know the origin, so I know exactly kind of what I'm gonna get. But I really enjoy a lot of Image and Dark Horse, so it's like I don't know what is going on.
This is the first non-Image comic that we've done, right?
I think so. Is it? That's kind of weird. I didn't think about that.
I think it is, yeah, because this one is Vertigo, right?
Vertigo, yeah. So Give me a quick. So what we usually do is we're gonna talk about it, and then at the end we're gonna decide if we both like it. But maybe in the discussion we convince each other of the other way. So give me a quick synopsis. Give me of what Preacher is about.
There's a lot of stuff going on. That's very broad. But you have. Oh man. Okay. You have angels that are talking among themselves.
Angels and Demons, Tom Hanks.
Angels and Demons. Yep. We are definitely talking about Dan Brown book right now. No, you do have Angels and Demons. Yes. That have made sweet love. And there is this character Genesis that is come down to Earth and has started running amok. And there is there's cops down on Earth that are important characters. You have the preacher, which is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy?
Is he even a preacher? Because,
right,
like,
exactly.
Because the story, I mean, the story has these different main characters that Rhett's talking about.
Yeah.
There's a setting where they're in heaven. There's a setting where they're on the earth, and then you kind of follow characters that are introduced in the story. So we read roughly about, I think it's 3 chapters. It's about about 100 pages. I thought it went super quick. I think the comic's super enjoyable to read. It's mature, it's graphic, it's kind of light and heavy at the same time, which is kind of interesting to me because it's like I'm reading very quickly. I'm understanding everything and I'm enjoying it, which is something that
you're actually I mean, I'm enjoying it too. I'm loving it too. I am not understanding almost all of it. Most of it. Well, but I mean, it's like Dogma to me. I loved, which we have so many just old references. I'm sorry. The movie Dogma, I loved it. Could I tell you anything about, is there anything of substance in the movie that is worth noting? I don't know. All I can tell you is that I loved it, and it's that's pretty much it. Anyways,
it's funny that I'm usually the one who says this is confusing. I don't like it where it's kind of where a story jumps from date to date, and I have to follow. Okay, wait, this chapter is before the second chapter, and this is what's going to tell me like what's up.
Well, I mean, I'm understanding the different the different areas, the different sceneries that are bouncing back and forth. With up in heaven with the angels. One of the angels looks like Maynard James Keenan, if anybody listens to Tool. And I'm understanding everybody that's down on Earth and whatnot. I'm not understanding the whole connection with, you have vampires that are involved. And
just go with it, Rhett. Just go with it. There's a vampire.
Okay, there's a vampire. And I don't know if he's dead. He gets shot and whatnot. And there is this the Saint of Assassins, which,
such a cool character.
Holy crap!
Holy saints of whatever.
Right. Holy Jehoshaphat. I don't know. He's his character. Would you say that there are any there's a good guy in this?
You don't know.
Everybody's like an anti-hero. It's crazy.
I mean, I mean, I don't feel like the stories. I mean, I feel like you brought up a point. You're saying, okay, there's a vampire, so we're doing supernatural. So we're doing kind of religious. We're doing religious with angels and demons. We're doing supernatural kind of with like a vampire, right? So we're saying there's vampires in this world.
But if you're going off of good and evil, I mean, I guess, would vampires be in the evil category?
Well, he doesn't. This vampire is not really just murdering people left and right. He shows some restraint. I feel like he kind of fits this like anti-hero. Like, right. I don't know.
Until he bites the neck of some dude and just rips his aortic.
Hey, they were in a bar fight.
Oh, justifiably.
Okay, here's my question. So I think we're both on the same page. I think we both generally like the comic.
Yes.
Is this? I feel like every comic I read, I try to think of like, what is this reminding me of? Is it basically the saga story where it's like, because we can do the angel and demon, so it's 2 factions, 2 groups come together and apparently have this baby called Genesis, which And so we're kind of, and then it gets loose, and then someone has to go destroy Genesis because no one's supposed to know that Genesis exists. Now, this is basically the saga story slash Romeo and Juliet slash every story.
Absolutely, yes.
Does that turn you off?
No. Well, I mean, it confused me instantly when I heard the word Genesis. There's actually a point in the comic that I thought it was hilarious. You either think of a really bad 70s band or an awesome 70s band, whatever you think,
Or way you
or
go.
the first book of the Bible. I mean, that's instantly where I went, and there's no reference of the first book of the Bible or whatnot, of what I know of Genesis or whatnot, and it was just, that's where my mind went off, and that's probably where I got confused.
So you got confused over.
I thought it was going to be like super religious, that it was going to be good against evil. I didn't think that it was going to be this at all.
But isn't that more interesting? Isn't the story more interesting because they don't just do good versus evil? That we have some kind of like anti-hero stuff, and who's really the good guy, and what's the secret, and what is happening. I feel like the intrigue of the comic, it does such a good job through the first 100 pages of setting up a story, setting up the characters. I agree with you. I think that guy is a Cassidy or whatever. I think he's hilarious. They make like I think they make like a few music references which are really great, which are funny. So it's like a mature comic where people are getting their like parts of their bodies shot off with a gun in point blank range. And
yeah, I mean, that Cassidy guy gets a knife shoved through his eye.
Yeah,
and he doesn't die.
Well, because he's a vampire.
He's a vampire, right? Exactly.
And then other people also get shot in the face and seem to not die also, which it's like a weird thing to
right, exactly. There was that
the guy in the car gets his like jaw shot off. There's a cop who gets his like nose shot off, and they're just getting shot in point blank.
There's an angel that gets his entire like back of his head blown off, and he lives for at least a couple of sentences.
Yeah, that made no sense to me, but it's fine. Just go with it. There's angels, and then so yeah. I mean, we're gonna disagree because I think the comic is. I don't think it's super confusing. I think you just kind of go with it. I don't think.
I mean, I tend.
I'm saying there are like one or two parts where I did reread because I'm like, okay, what you have to really, it's kind of funny. I saw someone's making the joke about how you have to what shows you can watch while you're on your phone and which ones you can't. Like Game of Thrones, you can't be on your phone. And this comic too, you have to read every word of the dialogue because you'll miss something, and it could be religious or it could be just something to the story. So you have to really pay attention to every word. But yeah, some parts I reread just to be like, okay, what are they talking about and what are we doing here? So, what do you think about this? Talk about the so there's like the sheriff who's kind of like he talks about UFOs. He's kind of like a conspiracy theorist, but then he's also like kind of like
he's a hard ass. He's a complete hard ass. And then you learn you learn something about his son, which I think you sort of get the reason of why he is the way that he is, because his son suffers this horrible accident. I mean, he worshipped Kurt Cobain in Nirvana, and he tries committing suicide himself, but it doesn't work the same. And then he's like sewn up, and his face is all deformed. and he can't speak. And so you see like his dad's the sheriff's like frustration of he has to live with a son that he can't understand and who looks the way that he does, and he has to explain to everybody what his son is, which it's really hard to wrap your mind around that whole plot line.
And he's not shy about it either, which is kind of interesting too. He'll just talk garbage right in front of his son, like on the phone. He's like, "What are you?" He gets a call. Like, "Are you up to anything?" "No, I'm not up to anything." It's like, hey, I can see being the kid being like, "Dad, I'm right here.
Right.
I can hear you."
Well, it's really interesting how and funny how like upbeat the son is. He's just like, hey, Dad, would you like a beer or whatnot? And his dad,
he's trying to please his dad. Let's just be honest. He's trying to please his dad. His dad is not having it.
No,
not having it. So, so I think the comic, it's kind of interesting to me. I mean, I think I like more mature comics. This is definitely it. It sprinkles in some comedy, which I think is just. I think it has supernatural elements to it, which I enjoy also. So I think this is like hitting a lot of marks for me. The writing I enjoyed. That you can definitely tell, like, yo, it's from '95. The artwork is definitely something that I think today's comics, some of the artwork I really enjoy. This one, I don't think if I looked, I would be like, yes, this is definitely like source material writing.
Well, I mean, they have to be like the cover art for the different issues or whatnot. Those are pretty awesome.
Those are awesome.
The full color, full detail pages. Those are pretty amazing. But yeah, you definitely the lettering. You get the big bubble conversations or whatnot, like the older comics. I like the older Batmans do and whatnot. But yeah, the art is definitely not like your what you see now. It's like updated art or whatnot.
Yeah, and it's fine. I enjoyed. I mean, I think it's. I like the layout of it. It's not super super crazy or anything. It's pretty straightforward. I know we talked about the artwork in Deadly Class. Like, I feel like, they're trying to do so much. Like, they're trying to make like a cool layout where it's kind of diagonal, and it's like, well, what am I even reading first? So this one is kind of like I said before, it's an easy read where you're like, yes, I know exactly what I'm reading. Go to bubble to bubble and then just keep going. It's kind of funny when we're talking about, is the preacher a good guy or a bad guy? And literally on the front of the comic is him like smiling in a burning church. So it's like, I don't know, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he a preacher?
Remind me again, his church ends up burning down to the ground, and with it's like hundreds of people inside dying.
Yeah, like, but what was his plan? Because I mean, the comic is basically Saturday night, no one comes to the sermon. Saturday night, he just goes into the barn and starts talking garbage to everyone, and then he gets his ass kicked. So his thing was, Sunday, I'm gonna have a lot of people and do a really cool sermon and talk to these people, and then that's when the Genesis, the spirit is connecting with him, and then like, who knows what's gonna happen? Like, he's trying to find some mortal being to be with. And I'm assuming if we keep reading, then there's probably a reason why he picks this dude, this preacher guy, and I think something has to do with it, with him being a person who would go to a bar Saturday night talking garbage about his own congregation.
Well, I mean, you've got the whole angel demon sort of scenario right there, where it's a preacher that loves his booze. he loves his cigarettes, and he loves his women.
So another Outcast reference where we're seeing a religious figure behaving not so just,
Does that say a lot about ourselves?
that we're picking these comics with these characters in them.
Yeah, exactly. We're quite religious ourselves, right?
We're super, yeah,
Super, yeah.
super religious.
Super.
Not anymore, but I think it's I think I agree with you. I think the artwork is awesome in the cover issue covers, which is pretty cool. I just have the trade paperback, which is 12 issues, by the way, which is kind of crazy.
Right. I mean, it's like 400 pages.
Yeah, it's a lot. We read the first 100, so
any comments? No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Just me.
I was just last week,
Yeah, we had
Natalie DC
at the end,
Queen,
but no.
Yeah. No.
Actually, I have it up. Maybe I have it wrong. Who knows? But it's up.
It's okay.
So I think we both enjoyed the comic. I mean, I feel like
I would agree.
I feel like they did such a good job with. I mean, I feel like the whole point of the show and the whole point of picking comics is review and / telling people like, hey, should you even waste your time, or this is our opinion on this comic. And I feel like the reason we do the first 5 issues and stuff is the first trade paperback is to see how they set up the comic with either characters, story, do we understand it? Is it fun to read? And I feel like in the first few issues, there's so much action going on. There's so much, there is mystery. I feel like it's not super confusing with with time jumps and that kind of stuff. It's just straight. I like more of a linear storyline, and I think it hits like a bunch of check marks for me. I think it was an easy read. I think it's enjoyable, and it doesn't. A lot of comics, they'll end just be like on a cliffhanger or they won't really talk about a lot of information. Like it's from issue to issue, and it drives me crazy. I'm like, nothing happened this issue. And I feel like things happen all the time. And
oh yeah, I mean, how many people have died already? I mean, it's a lot.
I like that murder. Like I need more people murdered in my.
I didn't get my quota of murders in my comic book. Yeah,
it's definitely a lot of action. A lot of I feel like also too with the action and kind of the violence in the comic, it's kind of like you're thinking in your head like, how are they going to deal with this guy, like the Saint guy, where he's basically invulnerable from bullets, and then I think the comic where we kind of end off is kind of like we're sending the SWAT team, and it's like, didn't they just all get killed from him 5 minutes ago? What?
Right, exactly. It's going to end up being like a Terminator 2 sort of deal.
Yeah, just killing police. It's like, all right, I think we understand what happens when you just send the police. So, he's like a heavenly assassin. I don't think the police.
It's written by NWA.
Yeah, no, it's intriguing to go like, okay, how are they going to handle this guy, and what is going to happen? And there's something going to happen that I have no idea. I haven't thought about. So, and there's definitely going to be I'm assuming the ultimate showdown between that guy and Jesse, the main character, the preacher. So you kind of go, wait a second, what's going to happen? Also, it's intriguing how he has like the word of God, which is very intriguing to me. Every situation, you're thinking like, can he control it? Is he gonna do it? He can just tell anyone anything and they'll do it, which is kind of like,
right. No, and I mean, he had the one guy just literally stand on his head, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, it makes me think of the Rick and Morty where he's in the where he's captured and he tells the dad to like fold 12 times, and then the dad only folds 6 times. He's like, 6 times? What is this? The medium one? I don't know, whatever. That was hilarious. So It reminds me of that. Everything reminds me of something else. But I think we actually do have 2 viewers, which is thank you so much for watching. Which
Is
is what
is that 4 total?
I don't know. Who knows? But
Or I don't know if it counts for you and I being on it,
that's
because
true.
again,
No, before it was 0. So,
okay.
but I said on Instagram, I'm like, we usually have 1 person. So if we get 2 people, that's like
You
that's like that's
you
the
made our month,
you made our month.
not just our day.
But that's good. That's good. I'm glad you joined us. And if you have any comments, please comment, and then we'll discuss it. But I think we're pretty much wrapping up. We're talking Preacher. We're doing. It was suggested by someone on Instagram who's a buddy of mine who I cannot recall the name.
And you need to apologize.
I need to apologize too. I'm sorry. We'll definitely hook up on Instagram about that. But yeah, what do you? I mean, I kind of just went on a rant about what I liked about Preacher. What are your thoughts, and what do you?
So I think you pretty much hit everything. I mean, I think even more so than you. I like the mature type of comics that I'm drawn to. More darker subject matter, and the violence doesn't in this genre. I mean, I can't watch horror movies very often because that disturbs me. But for some reason, I can just laugh at the violence that is. I could just laugh it off.
Or you can just close it. You just close it.
Or close it. Right. I could turn off the television as well, just with the horror movies. But
you have a remote to your television?
No, I actually have a rotary. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, do you remember? Did you
remember phones, actual phones that you have to? No, you don't.
No, it's funny too. In this,
I had a rotary phone. A rotary
phone. It's funny that technology, in this comic too, there's no no one's on their cell phone. People are talking to each other in this comic. They're meeting at a diner, talking to each other. No one's on their phone. So I think it's great.
It's family fun, wholesome. It's wholesome.
Yeah. We don't know why this character, first 100 pages, he's with a girl. We don't know why they left. 5 years later, we don't know why they found each other, and we don't know what's going to happen.
And you're saying that you actually understand this comic with you just saying that.
I can go with it.
You can go with it.
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why they're together, but I feel like they set it up fine. Where it's like the one thing that makes, because I know I say I want a linear comic, and I'm just contradicting myself because then, oh, someone said, amazing. I saw your story, so I jumped on. Thank you so much, Sydney Silva. Thank you for jumping on with us. So I'm contradicting myself because I like linear stories, but then I'm totally cool with them skipping how they got to this point. So I'm a walking contradiction of why.
Well, right, and I am somebody that I need my background. I need to know an understanding. I've read too many novels and watched too many novellas.
You're so cultured, right? You just know War and Peace and Preacher.
Exactly. I drink my coffee with my pinky up. So
you do. You like it. You're very sophisticated. What do you call? I feel like they do a good job of explaining that it has been 5 years that they have not seen each other. So there's points in the comic where they kind of touch on that, where it's it's been he kisses her and oh, it's been 5 years. You left me. No explanation. It's they just spelled it out. They haven't seen each other. Don't know, but you don't know why. I think that's the intrigue of why do you want to keep reading the comic, because you don't know why.
Let me ask you this question then. I mean, so far it's going in that linear direction. If it does jump back, will that turn you off?
No, I think it did a good. I'd be fine. Oh, and the person is Sydney Reads on Instagram. She's awesome. She does a lot of good reviews. So check out Sydney Reads on Instagram. She does.
Love it. Okay, sweet.
Yeah, she did. I saw her article on Paper Girls, which was really good. She did a review of that, and she just did an Instagram live thing that I watched, which was pretty cool. And she's pretty nice. So look her up on Instagram.
I'm gonna have
to. For everyone, yeah, for you and for everyone who watches this, like the 20
Oh
people.
yeah, this isn't just about me. I'm sorry.
I feel like it's 50% about you.
Oh.
20% about me. 30% about the comic.
That's a good that's a good breakdown.
It's a good breakdown. But all right, let's what do you want to?
You know, I think our next comic we should go back to trees. We should hit some of the comics that we've declared to our viewers that we would continue on.
We should. So
or no.
No, we can. We can do both. Okay. We can do both. I feel like this channel is to just be like, hey, this is what we think about this comic, and then us personally also reading and then continuing. So we can definitely do trees. Maybe we'll do trees and a new one, and then cut them up and say like, or maybe just do 2 short videos. Well, we could talk about it. Maybe we'll do 2 short videos, like a tree short videos, and then next one.
Well, maybe we could do trees and chew and just get those.
Oh yeah,
you know, do 2 shorter segments.
We should have a meeting. We should get together and talk about this.
Yeah, this is great live discussion.
Live discussion. So I am definitely a yes for Preacher. It's kind of funny. I only watched like the first season on AMC. I didn't continue watching it, I think. So I don't even know how many seasons they made on AMC. No clue. I know there's a bunch more Preacher. I've read the first trade paperback. So I kind of knew already that I would be a yes just because from reading it, from a few years ago. But definitely now I'm definitely a yes again. Like I feel like I have a few of them, and I would continue. What's your?
I'm a yes. I'm a yes too. There are a few things that I would love to get answered before I'm like all in or whatnot. I'm just kind of weary that it's going to be like an outcast thing where you're not going to get definite answers to the questions of why is he the preacher and why was he chosen and things like that. But I'm really hoping that that's the case, that you find out.
It's such a role reversal for us that you're the pessimist and I'm like, yeah, I'm totally in. I'm totally in to wait and to find out. I'm totally cool with it. And you're like, no, I don't trust you, Preacher.
I don't know. It's not that I don't trust Preacher. I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
Me?
Yes. Me? Yeah.
I thought we trusted each other.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, all right, Rhett. You give your parting words, and then I will sign us off.
Parting words are go Cubs.
Go Cubs.
No.
Did you like the music references, the music jokes in this comic?
Well, yes, I did like the Genesis line. That was pretty awesome. If you would have said something about Phil Collins, I would have laughed out loud. But no, the Nirvana music reference. I don't know if I want to laugh about.
I thought there was another one too. There was a third one. I can't remember. Not the Nirvana one. I didn't think that was funny, but
no,
there was another one. I think he makes 2 other ones, but whatever. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. I was reading. I'm sure Rhett's gonna like these music related jokes.
Well, I mean that was my jam, or that is my jam. I mean, 95. That's like primo 10-year-olds. 10-year-old
I love the girl.
angst alternative back when Q101 was every song was a hit. Yeah,
When Q101 was Q101.
yeah, exactly.
It's funny too. The back also, I love it. It says Texas. By God, I love that. That's also really cool. I think it is. I'm going to quote the Washington Post. It says, "Just about the best thing to come along since comics started finding their way into books." Okay. It's also interesting. We're doing a comic that was optioned for a TV show, so obviously people have read this.
Yeah,
They've enjoyed it. So I think it's getting like our review. I think people would enjoy it. I would definitely recommend it to read to somebody. So I think we're both on a yes. So thank you so much for joining us. So we didn't shelf it. We're going to continue to read it. Thank you so much for joining us for Comic Book Campaign. Follow us on Instagram. Rhett, you are Richard's Rhett. I usually tag you on my Instagram posts. I am You Remind Me of Two. I usually post things during the week if we're going to read a comic. So you can follow us along. The whole idea was, eventually people would kind of read the comic with us and then come online. So if you want to do that or interested in that, hit me up on Instagram and check us out. And
yeah.
So
and next week we'll be on at 9:15.
Yeah, we will be on 9:15
Yeah.
next week. No more falling asleep and no more technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm falling asleep right now. I'm so tired.
Well, good. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Again, I will be posting on Instagram what we're going to be doing for next Thursday night. And thank you so much for joining us. And please feel free to look us up on Instagram. I like talking to people on there about comics and finding comics. I think it's so much fun. I just talked with someone about secret variants that came out this past Wednesday on the Venom 15 and the Spider-Man symbiote comic with the blood title, and I didn't even know. And someone was like, "Hey, did you find this out?" And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." So I think meeting people and talking to people on Instagram is so much fun related to comics. So hit me up on there, and thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next Thursday at 9:15.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.